What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and this weekend we're likely to see a lot of information coming out of Disney as they have their D23 Expo. If you're like me, you're anxiously awaiting the announcement of the new Captain Marvel movie. But as we wait for that, there's a lot of news about both the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and a brand new Avengers theme park, which in my opinion is doomed to fail. I'm going to share why exactly I think that way right now, but huge thank you to all of you who have joined in the battle to remember to like the videos, leaving comments, and then making sure you have that little notification bell darkened. If it's light, then you don't have them on. Make sure you have that on and that you share it out on social media. I think it's actually having an effect. So the more we keep doing it, maybe we could pull the channel out. Last night, I actually got a notification like the minute I uploaded one of my videos. So please keep it up, and I am grateful for you for that. So why do I think the Marvel Avengers theme park is doomed to fail? Well, because Galaxy's Edge has been a billion-dollar blunder. Though Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has been open since May on the West Coast, no theme park land debut has been as hotly anticipated as that on the East Coast version of this land at Disney's Hollywood Studios. While the hype train has been rolling on for the past few years, Bob Iger famously implied that Disney didn't even need to advertise the new land. Many are looking for the upcoming launch of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge with additional scrutiny, and here's why. One, the land is the most expensive that Walt Disney has ever built. Though Disney doesn't often release official figures about how much of their construction projects cost, earlier this month, Disney officially confirmed that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge cost $1 billion to bring to Disney's Hollywood Studios, the company's single biggest theme land investment in history, which, while impressive, is now becoming a concern because Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has not done well thus far at Disneyland. Remember, Disneyland is in California, Disney World is in Florida. Though Disney has blamed everything from its own annual pass holder blackout dates to the delayed opening of Star Wars Rise of the Resistance attraction, the fact that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge hasn't exactly been a traffic boon for Disneyland, many thought it would be. And though speculation was that the annual pass holders would flood the land in August, while the majority of the blackouts were lifted, thus far that hasn't been the case. With Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run attraction averaging just 30 minutes wait most days, according to Laughing Place Wait Time Tracker. And while the conventional wisdom might state that since Walt Disney World typically draws a larger crowd than Disneyland, more guests will visit the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, that could be an issue as Walt Disney World attendance is also down. Now, a lot of what they're talking about is, I believe, driven by pushing out a large section of the fandom with both mediocre or just bad movies like Solo, a Soy Wars story, or with the adversarial relationship that the media that you so desperately rely on has taken with the fandom. I don't think I've seen a lot of Disney statements about quote-unquote toxic Star Wars fans, but it's basically was in every headline for months after people didn't like The Last Jedi. People didn't like Han Solo, a Star Wars story, so badly that they canned that series altogether. All right, so when you push out people, by the way, it's my interpretation, based on who I see in the Fandom Menace, for example, these are people that had money to go to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. These are people that would have wanted to go because I think most of the people that you wanted to go to Galaxy's Edge were fans of the original trilogy, right? People who had been fans since the 70s because, well, quite frankly, they're the ones that can afford $100 a day plus $25 cheeseburgers at Disneyland, all right? It isn't these 8-year-olds you're courting with characters like Rose Tico and cute but boring BB-8s. Sorry, BB-8 fans. Sorry. These aren't the people that were going to come to your park. And so you've alienated large amounts of people. I mean, you could say that we're in this small little bubble here on the internet. However, many of the videos that were getting made around the original Star Wars backlash, guys like Ethan Van Sciver or girls like that Star Wars girl or myself, those videos were getting 100,000, 200,000 views. These are a lot of potential customers. In fact, my channel analytics say most people who view my channel are between 25 and 34. These are the exact people that would have expendable income to go to Disneyland. And they were seeing all the negative press. Now, why do you think this is going to do for the Avengers? We'll get to that in a second. Earlier this month, Disney confirmed attendance at Walt Disney World was down. And though Disney blamed the attendance crash on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, saying that the guest surveys suggested they were deferring their visits to Walt Disney World till after the new world lands. It's just a few days on August 29th, blah, 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 blah. Also, reviews from Star Wars fans have been mixed. And this is the actual product, which, by the way, I think if Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was amazing, right, was so cool, that everybody who went there was like, forget it, you gotta see this, right? Then it would have had enough legs to extend past all the negative press. You can say here, though we enjoyed visiting Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and found Millennium Falcon to be a fun, if not totally game-changing attraction, some guests, particularly self-described Star Wars fans on social media, had mixed feelings about this new land, especially in the setting of Batuu, which is an all-new planet not seen mentioned in any of the Star Wars films, and though there are plenty of familiar characters and ships to be found around this new land, some have said that with the iconic characters like Endor, Tatooine, and Death Star represented inside this land, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge would have had the same maybe initial pull or longevity that other lands have enjoyed. That's a very valuable point. And now let's get to their announcement right now of the new Avengers campus at Disney California Adventure and Disneyland Paris. Now, this is just going to be in Cali and Paris now. We've already shared updates that we're building an immersive superhero-themed lands. Today, we're thrilled to announce these fantastic lands will be called the Avengers Campus. When guests visit Avengers Campus, they will become part of an interconnected global story that spans from California, Paris to Hong Kong, with the Avengers recruiting new extraordinary people to join the team. Inside our pavilion at D23 Expo, guests will be able to see an in-story experience where they'll learn why the Avengers are building these campuses, and on Sunday, we'll share more details about what our guests will be able to experience when they open. And I'll look forward to covering that on Sunday as well. And if you look at initial coverage, okay, of this, it's tepid. Even Shill Corporation Polygon. Disney unveils full plans for Marvel-themed land Avengers Campus. These parks are set to open in California and Paris in 2020. I have a absolutely huge question. And this is also what I think hurt the Star Wars cinematic universe in terms of the theme parks. Why? Why are you opening it now? I guess maybe you could tell me that, hey, we wanted to open the Marvel theme park 5 years ago and we couldn't. But Disney seems to do this. You saw them open up the Harry Potter land long after all the fervor of Harry Potter was gone. And maybe that's a licensing issue. Seriously, there may be a technical reason why this doesn't happen. But Marvel right now, in my opinion, I would be shocked if it ever achieves the popularity it had this past summer. All right. Marvel Cinematic Universe will be forever on the downturn at this point because for many fans like me, it ended with Endgame and it ended with a thud rather than a good, good experience. One of these days, I'll review Endgame and talk about just how disappointing that film actually was to me. But I think that you missed the boat, just like you missed the boat on Star Wars. When Disney announced Star Wars coming back, that's when they should have opened the theme park. Not now, after you've already soured millions of people with poor movies and adversarial directors like Ryan Roundhead Johnson. And the same thing with Marvel. Why are you opening the theme park now? You're really putting a lot of eggs in one basket, and that is the gamble is, can you bring in new fans to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I can't argue with the success that they've had up until this point, just basically making $1 billion automatically every film they put out. But that we'll see what happens this summer when you don't have Iron Man and Captain America anymore, and you don't have, you know, the Incredible Hulk anymore, or if you do, you know, he wasn't that great anyway. You will see how the standalone Black Widow movie does. We'll see how, you know, the standalone Doctor Strange does, especially now. Remember, especially after I believe many people were dissatisfied with Endgame. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just projecting my own disappointment with that film. Yes, it was fine, but it was like the end of an era, and it just didn't do it for me. Anyway, Disney announces the newest Marvel-themed addition. Theme park is called Avengers Campus, which will open in phases. Great. That worked great for Star Wars. In Disney's California Adventure and Disneyland Paris. By the way, not going to California to go to this. Announced on the eve of Disney's D23 Expo, the company gave the following statement. When guests visit Avengers Campus, it will be part... Oh, we hit that already. The announcement came with concept art and context as to the impetus for the Marvel-themed land's creation other than money. The idea is that Tony Stark has come to the D3 Expo to showcase a global Avengers initiative, which the Avengers Campus in Disneyland, California, and the campus in Disneyland, Paris. All while, as well as his partnerships with Worldwide Engineering Brigade, PIM Technologies, Caroline May, creative director of Walt Disney Imagineering. While the name is new and the parks themselves have been on the radar since early 2018, anchored by the already running Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout that replaced the Tower of Terror, Avengers Campus will incorporate Spider-Man-themed ride attraction titled Tony Stark's Worldwide Engineering Brigade. The new area of the theme park will occupy space previously filled by a Bug's Land. More Disney Park news. Now, are they replacing something that is kind of boring already? Yes. Okay. But do I think that people are going to be as excited to go to, you know, is this going to be enough? The question is, if Star Wars: A Galaxy's Edge wasn't enough, okay, now will the fact that you'll have Avengers there also next year, the two combined could be enough to push people over the edge to commit to go checking it out. I know what it's like. You're like, oh, Galaxy's Edge, I heard is kind of weak. You know, a lot of the press around it hasn't been good. But, you know, it's not enough. But if there's Avengers there too, you know, maybe I'll go to both. Like, for example, for this channel, that might be a fun thing. Now, I don't really see myself going to California. But if they had both in Florida, I probably would. Now, when they open Star Wars Land in Florida, will that be enough to get me there? Nope, it won't. I feel bad giving Disney money at this point. I feel bad giving Star Wars money. And also, you know, above all else, I hear it's kind of mediocre. And if they don't make the Avengers campus totally amazing, I mean, what are they going to have? $150, you know, Infinity Gauntlets for people to buy, $200 Iron Man masks. We kind of already know the recipe that they deployed with Galaxy's Edge. I don't have a good feeling for Avengers Campus. The fact that both will be there is probably the only thing that will save them, but I think they've missed the boat on timing. They have similar problems to Star Wars, where most of the media has spent the last 5 years attacking the fandom, and that fandom is also the people that have the money that can spend $1,000 a day at the theme park. You know, I think that the negative press around Galaxy's Edge is going to make people think that Avengers Campus isn't very good either. Obviously, for many of us, the MCU is over, and whether or not Marvel and Disney can keep the Avengers kind of going with these new characters remains to be seen. Now, if anyone can do it, Disney can do it. But I don't think Avengers Campus is going to be that great. We'll have to wait and see as more information comes out. I look forward to your comments in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Hey, if you're still hanging out, there's a subscribe button right on the screen right now. Make sure to click that, turn notifications on. And if you want to see the next video, that should also be hovering around the screen. Thanks so much for watching this and for supporting the channel. What are you waiting for? Subscribe. And, you know, turn on notifications and like the video.